On Wednesday evening, Dana was late for work. Her husband, Troy, was waiting for her for dinner. But by 7 o'clock, when she still hadn't shown up, he gave up and ate the leftovers. He began to worry. Troy called her cell phone several times and sent her text messages, but she didn't answer. He tried calling her at the office, but since it was after 5, the call went to voicemail. This wasn't like Dana. If she was going to be late, she always let him know in advance and never missed calls or text messages. Something must be wrong. By 8 p.m., he was very worried, so he got in his pickup truck and drove to her office, arriving 10 minutes later. Dana was a human resources manager at a small consulting firm and worked at the company's headquarters in a small office park in Plano, Texas. The parking lot was almost empty. There were usually 1 or 2 cars there, but Dana's car wasn't in her spot. He called her again in case she had gone home while he was looking for her, but the call went to voicemail. That usually meant her battery was dead or she had turned off her phone. He started driving home, but a strange feeling made him turn into the nearest restaurant and entertainment complex. Her co-workers often stopped by one of the many bars after work for a drink. It was almost 9 p.m. when he pulled into the parking lot. There were hundreds of parking spaces, so he didn't have much hope of finding her. But when Troy drove up to the 3rd floor, he saw Dana's car with its distinctive BMW girl's license plate. He parked in the nearest available space and looked at her car. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary. She had taken her purse and cell phone, which was at least a small, encouraging sign. He looked around, wondering where she might be. Troy walked to the nearest staircase and went down to the 1st floor. Looking around, he realized that Dana could be in any of the 20 or 30 restaurants or bars in this huge complex. However, the fact that she had parked so far from the garage entrance suggested that she might be in one of the 2 establishments located at this end, away from the main part of the complex. He noticed with growing concern that this place was also next to the Marriott Hotel. He first looked into a small Italian bistro, but Dana wasn't there. He crossed the alley and turned into a side street where, as he remembered, there was a dimly lit Irish pub. In fact, Dana had shown him this pub a few months ago when they were in the area for dinner. He crossed the street to approach the bar from the side and avoid being seen. The entire front of the pub was open to the street, with several tables on the sidewalk. Loud music and laughter filled the air. It looked like there was a party going on inside. Troy knew it got noisy here when there were Premier League and NFL games on, but there weren't any sporting events today that would explain the crowd, so there must have been something else going on. Peering inside, he saw a large party. The interior was decorated with balloons and streamers in festive colors. A large banner hung above the bar that read, "Happy Retirement." There were 40 or 50 people there, all laughing, joking, and drinking heavily. It looked like someone from Dana's company was retiring. Troy wondered why Dana hadn't told him about the party. The answer was simple. He assumed she must have been busy with preparations and had forgotten to tell him. He felt relieved to know she was safe, and was about to leave when the crowd inside began chanting, "Speech! Speech! Speech!" He was curious to see who the party was for, so he lingered to watch. And then he saw his wife for the first time. She looked happy, blissful, and drunk. She was standing at the bar, facing the crowd, waving her hand. Everyone fell silent, and Dana began to speak. "Thank you all for this party," she said, clearly holding back tears. "I'm going to miss you all very much." What the hell is she talking about? Troy thought. "The last 8 years I've spent with you have been wonderful," Dana continued. "But now it's time to enjoy life. I'll send you postcards from the south of France as soon as I get settled. You're all welcome to join us any time." South of France? Us? Troy froze. He felt sick. He and Dana had always talked about going to the south of France someday, and now she was going there with someone else. "And one more thing," Dana said, pausing to make sure everyone was listening. She grabbed the hem of her sweater. raised her arms sharply, pulled the fabric up to her neck, and exposed her 36-inch breasts. Everyone burst into loud applause. She covered her breasts again, blushing to her ears, then added, "God! I've wanted to do that for 8 years. I'm not a human resources manager anymore. Now I can do whatever I want." She turned to the man standing next to her, grabbed his face, pulled him toward her, and kissed him long and passionately while her colleagues applauded. This man was Dana's boss, Mitchell Fields, CEO, president, and recently divorced millionaire. At that moment, everything became clear to Troy. He turned and walked away, got in his car, and drove home. On the way, he called their 20-year-old daughter, Michelle, who was a junior at SMU. She answered right away. "Hi, Dad. How are you?" "Did you know?" he asked. There was a pause. Michelle and Dana were closer than mother and daughter. They were best friends, spent most of their free time together, went shopping, went to spas, and were each other's closest confidants. "Knew what?" Michelle replied nervously. "That your mother is cheating on me, sleeping with her boss behind my back and leaving me for that jerk." There was another, longer pause. That answer was enough for Troy. "Dad," Michelle began, searching for the right words. "I knew," Troy replied. "What did I do to deserve this?" "Dad, it's not like that really," Michelle said. "You need to talk to your mother." "Don't call me Dad," Troy replied sharply. "I'm not your father anymore. You betrayed me and took her side. You're dead to me." Michelle screamed, "No! Dad, please listen." "Listen? What can you say that I'll understand?" Troy asked. "Your mother quit her job without saying a word to me. She's moving to the south of France with her jerk of a boss without telling me a damn thing." "What?" Michelle asked incredulously. "What are you talking about? Mom didn't tell me anything about this." "You didn't know she was cheating on me with her boss?" "No, I swear. I thought you were talking about something else. I don't know anything about this." "Are you sure?" "Yes, damn it, I'm sure. I saw her with him. I saw her at her retirement party 5 minutes ago. She told everyone she was moving to the south of France, and then she kissed that jerk the way you kiss a lover, not a boss." "Dad," Michelle cried, "I swear I didn't know. I thought you knew about Daryl and Mom." "What? Daryl? What Daryl? What are you talking about?" "Oh, damn it, Dad, I'm sorry. I thought you knew." "Knew what? Remember the pool party we had in June right after graduation?" "Yes, of course." "Remember the guy I brought, Daryl?" "Yes, the guy from the SMU football team," Troy replied. "What does that have to do with anything?" "Remember how you got really drunk and fell asleep by the fireplace on the back porch?" "Yes." "Well, Daryl and I were swimming naked, and he talked my mom into joining us. She was drunk and got carried away. He was flirting with her, and she was flirting back. I got angry and made a mistake by going into the house and leaving them alone for a few minutes. When I came back, I realized that while I was gone, Daryl had slept with my mom. I was furious, but she was drunk and swore she was sorry. She begged me not to tell you because she knew you would leave her. I didn't want you to get divorced, so I forgave her and never told you. That's why I stopped seeing Daryl and why my mom and I aren't as close as we used to be." Troy could hardly comprehend what his daughter had told him. Not only had Dana slept with her boss, but she had slept with at least one other man. He felt sick. He was overcome with the feeling that everything he thought about his wife was a lie. "Dad?" Michelle called. "Are you there?" "Yes, I'm here," Troy replied. "I don't know what to believe anymore." "Dad, I swear I didn't know she was sleeping with her boss," Michelle said. "If I had known, I wouldn't have kept it from you. Daryl and I were having problems, but she convinced me it was a mistake and that she had only cheated on you once. I believed her. But if what you're saying is true, she lied to both of us." "It's true." "Do you have proof?" "No." "What are you going to do?" "I don't know," Troy replied. "I don't know, damn it. If she divorces me, she'll ruin me. I'll have to sell the house and all our possessions. She'll get half of everything. The worst part is that I started my business after we got married, so she's entitled to half of that too. Damn, I'll probably have to pay alimony too. But why should you have to pay for her being a slut? Michelle asked. Unless I can prove she's cheating on me. But for that, I need clear and irrefutable evidence, and I have to convince a judge to grant me a divorce on the grounds of adultery. Can't you sue her boss or his company for alienating your family or sexual harassment or something? She asked. I don't think alienating your family is a legal ground for a lawsuit in Texas, honey, Troy explained. And he didn't harass me, so I can't sue them for that. Anyway, I don't think anyone harassed your mom. She seemed perfectly happy with the way things were. So your mom hasn't said anything to you yet? Not a word. I only found out because she came home very late and didn't say she was going to be out late. I got worried, went looking for her, and found her at Patty's where they were having a party for her retirement. I wonder when she'll tell you, Michelle said thoughtfully. I don't know, Troy replied. Probably at the last minute, so I don't have time to do anything about it. What kind of proof do you need? Michelle asked. I don't know, photos, videos, witnesses, maybe a confession, Troy replied. Dad, Michelle said quietly. Yes, baby? I have an idea. Troy's phone rang around 10:30 p.m. He and Michelle had ended their conversation an hour ago, and he was sitting in the dark thinking about his life and what he could do. He let the phone ring a couple of times, sighed heavily, and then answered. Yes, he replied coldly. I'm sorry, Troy, Dan's drunk wife slurred. I got your messages. I thought I told you about the party tonight. I was so busy getting ready that I must have forgotten. Party? Troy asked, pretending not to understand. I wasn't sure if you were alive or dead, lying in a ditch somewhere. Oh, baby, I'm sorry, Dana replied. Were you worried? How can she call me baby and act so innocent? Troy thought. Well, you always call or text if you're going to be late, he explained. So yes, I was worried. I called and called, but you didn't answer. Why? My phone died, Dana apologized. And I was probably having so much fun that I didn't notice. I thought you knew I was okay, so I didn't call you back. I didn't realize my phone was dead until the party was over and I was ready to leave. I had to put it on charge so I could read your messages. Troy noticed that there was no background noise on the line and suspected that she was no longer at the bar. So where are you now? He asked. Well, don't be mad, but I think I've had too much to drink to drive home safely, she replied nervously. Some of us got rooms at the Marriott and are staying there. Everyone wants to hang out at the bar a little longer and then go to bed. That's ridiculous, Troy replied sharply. Get an Uber. Leave the car. We'll pick it up tomorrow. We live 10 minutes away. You don't need to stay at a hotel. I'm sorry, honey, she replied. I already checked in. You know Angie who works with me? She didn't want to stay alone, so I'm sharing a room with her. Troy was angry because he suspected she wouldn't be spending the night with Angie. He also doubted she would get a good night's sleep. I'll come get you, he said. Get me? No, Dana replied. Don't worry, I'll just stay here. Okay, Troy conceded. What room are you in? What? What room are you in? Why? I'll come over, he said. I'll bring you something to sleep in and clothes for tomorrow. You can't, she blurted out. Why not? Because I'm sharing a room with Angie, she explained. You can't sleep here when she's in the room. She'll feel uncomfortable. Then let her stay in the room by herself and you come home with me. I promised her I'd stay. Okay, then tell me your room number and I'll bring you a change of clothes, Troy said. Don't worry, honey, Dana replied. I'll just wear what I'm wearing for 2 days in a row. It's no big deal. Yeah, right, Troy replied sarcastically. I get the distinct impression that you don't want me to come over. Are you hiding something from me? Don't be silly, of course not. she replied with a slight nervousness in her voice. Listen, for the first time in our entire marriage, you went to a work party and didn't tell me, didn't answer your phone for several hours, and then said you were staying at a hotel 10 minutes away from me and wouldn't let me in. That's not normal behavior, and it's certainly not the behavior of a happily married woman. What's going on, Dana? Nothing's going on, she replied, but said nothing more. Troy waited for her to continue, but when Dana didn't explain, he pressed her harder. Are you cheating on me? He asked, already knowing the answer. Don't be ridiculous, Dana replied. You think I'm having an affair with Angie? No, not with Angie, Troy corrected her. But maybe with someone else. I mean, how do I know you're not sharing a room with her? It could be anyone. Some guy you picked up at a bar, for all I know. It could be your boss. That's not even funny, Troy, Dana replied, sounding hurt. I'm hanging up. You're hiding something, Troy declared, not letting her hang up. I'm not hiding anything, Dana replied sharply. I called to tell you what's going on. I told you everything. I'm not hiding anything, damn it. Really? Because you still haven't told me your room number? Why? Are you afraid I'll come and ruin your date with your lover? I said I'm sorry I didn't tell you about the party. I apologize for not answering your call. I couldn't, Troy. Sometimes things like that happen. Okay? Forget about it. I'm not cheating on you. Once I forgot to tell you where I was, and you went crazy. Do you trust me so little? Do you think our marriage means nothing to me? You're trying to shift the blame onto me, Dana, Troy said. That's not going to work. I didn't do anything wrong. It's you. Don't act like a martyr. See, that's what drives me crazy. You're so controlling and paranoid that you suffocate me. You suffocate me, damn it. I can't take it anymore. I need to be alone. You know the only thing I will never tolerate in our marriage is cheating, Troy said bluntly. I know. You've told me 1,000 times. It's just a stupid party. I'm drunk and I'm sleeping here. I'm not cheating on you, but I'm not going to argue about it. They're waiting for me at the bar. Good night, Troy. Dana, he shouted, but she hung up. Damn it, girl! Troy stared at the phone glowing in the dark until the screen went blank and the room was completely dark. Dana placed the phone on the dresser in her hotel room and made sure it was connected to the charger. Her hands were shaking. She had just lied to her husband, and the adrenaline was still coursing through her veins. I've ruined everything, Dana thought. I should have told him about the party and just gotten rid of him. Now he suspects I'm cheating on him, damn it. She wasn't ready to reveal the truth to Troy. She would still be getting paid for another 30 days, so she had at least that long before he would notice the money missing from his account. Her plans were already in place and underway, and she didn't want anything to interfere with them. If Troy found out too soon, it could cause her a lot of problems. She needed him to remain unaware until the very last minute. Was it worth it? Was it worth the risk? With a heavy sigh, Dana turned off her phone and turned to the man standing behind her. I'm going home. My husband is going crazy, and I don't want him to worry so much. I'm sorry. She grabbed her purse and quickly left the room before she could change her mind. She wasn't as drunk as she had been an hour ago, so she decided to take her car and drive home. 15 minutes later, she arrived home, but the garage was empty. Where is Troy? Dana wondered. She called him, and he answered right away. What do you need? Troy asked. Where are you? Dana asked immediately. What do you care? Of course I care. I realized you were right and came home. Where are you? I'm pulling up to the house, he explained. I was following you, but your car wasn't there. He didn't tell her how he knew where she was, so I came home. You just beat me to it. The garage door opened, and he drove the car inside. When he entered the kitchen, Dana was waiting for him, her hands on her hips. He raised his hands, trying to prevent the argument he knew was coming. Listen, it's late. That was all he managed to say before she threw herself at him, kissing and hugging him. He tried not to respond, but he loved Dana so much that he couldn't help himself. He was angry, but part of him wanted to show her that he was her man. It was something primal, a caveman instinct. He responded to her kiss. He picked her up and carried her to the bedroom. He wanted her to remember this night and, he hoped, remember how much she loved him. Michelle called on Friday to confirm her plan with Troy. She was sure she could get her mother to confess the truth. She would record the conversation and give the recording to her father as evidence, along with her testimony against her mother. She planned to spend Saturday at the spa with Dana and give her father the evidence that evening. Saturday arrived, and Troy waited nervously for his daughter to finish her spa treatment and come home. The day before, he had met with a divorce lawyer. Things weren't as bad as he had expected. His business wouldn't suffer, but he would have to share his profits with Dana for a year or two. He wouldn't have to pay alimony, as she had money. The rest of the property would have to be divided equally. But what could he do? As Dana had said, that's life. Troy sat thinking about his future when the door opened and, to his surprise, Dana and Michelle walked in. They both looked upset. "What's going on?" Troy asked. Dana walked straight over to him, sat down next to him, and took his hand. There were tears in her eyes. "I'm so sorry, Troy," she said in a trembling voice. "I've been keeping a secret from you, and I have to tell you the truth. You've got it all wrong, and it's all my fault. I've caused you terrible pain, and it was all for nothing. I'm so sorry." "What are you talking about?" Troy asked, turning to his daughter. "I talked to her, Dad," Michelle explained, "and she told me everything. Let her explain, please. It's not what you think." Troy turned to his wife. "Okay, explain," he demanded. "I'm not cheating on you with my boss, Troy," Dana said, trying to smile. "He's a good man, and I love him very much, but not in that way. I only love you. He's gay. That's why he divorced his wife. He came out and is now living openly with his partner." "I saw you kissing him," Troy challenged. Dana blushed and nodded. "Yes, I was foolish. I knew it was the only time I would ever be able to kiss him, so I did it. Knowing he was gay, I went too far. I regret doing it, and I'm sorry you saw it without knowing the context." "How could you show everyone your breasts?" Troy asked angrily. "Yeah, well, it was spontaneous," she explained. "All these years working as a human resources manager, I've had to act very strict. You know I have a playful side. I just wanted to let loose. It wasn't a sexual act." "What about retirement and moving to the south of France?" Troy asked sharply. "What is this nonsense? Are you moving? Are you retiring? How could you not tell me?" Dana looked down in shame. "I wanted to surprise you." "Surprise me? By leaving?" Troy asked sharply. "No, I would never leave you. This is for us," Dana declared. "For us?" Troy asked, confused. "What do you mean?" "We always talked about retiring in the south of France," Dana began. "And when I had the opportunity to take early retirement, I jumped at it. I planned to throw a big party to tell you about it and take a 2-week trip to France so we could look at houses together. That's all I planned. I wasn't going to move there without you. I thought you'd be surprised, but not in a bad way." "Just a trip?" "Yes, a trip for the two of us," Dana explained. "We could go and see if it's really a place we could live and try to find a house. I was going to ask you to move there during the trip because I know that with your job, you can work anywhere. I even talked to your boss to see if you could work from there, and he said yes." "So this was all just a big misunderstanding?" Troy asked, then seemed to remember something. "What about the hotel room? You were going to spend the night there to sleep with someone, weren't you?" "No! I swear! Angie was in the room with me the whole time and heard our conversation," Dana assured her husband. "Nothing happened. When she realized how upset you were, she agreed that I should go home." Dana pulled Troy's hand to her lips and kissed it. "Do you believe me now? Do you understand? I didn't cheat on you. I wasn't going to leave you. Troy looked at his wife for a few seconds before answering. Yes, Dana, I understand. I believe you. Oh, thank God! Dana exclaimed and rushed toward her husband. A few seconds later, he pushed her away and shook his head. He opened his briefcase, took out a stack of official documents, and handed them to her. What's this? Dana asked, looking at the papers. I want a divorce, Troy replied calmly. Dana's mouth fell open and she stared at her husband with wide eyes. What? Why? You said you believed me. You understand. Oh, yes. About retirement and France? Troy asked rhetorically. Yes. Yes, I understand. I believe you. Then why are you divorcing me? Dana asked, tears streaming down her cheeks. Troy stood up. I'm divorcing you because you slept with Daryl, you cheater. Daryl! Dana gasped, then turned to Michelle and screamed, Did you tell him? Michelle was in shock. Oh, shit! Troy grunted, Yeah, shit.